Good afternoon and welcome back to the Day After podcast on our incredibly cynical sub-show, Too Many Kubricks, where we watch and review every Stanley Kubrick film in chronological order. Mike was gracious enough to come back and visit with us.
Hi, everybody.
Where on today's episode, we're discussing one of my favorites, 1971's A Clockwork Orange, starring Malcolm McDowell and written by Anthony Burgess in an original novelization before it got moved over to film.
Was Haley saying that this is one of those movies that she watched with you early in your dating and she still wonders, how the hell am I married to this man?
I have multiple why am I married moments. I thought it was arty, and that would mean that, oh, he likes art, so I can, and he's a keeper, because as this movie shows, you can't like art if you're a criminal or a bad person in general. I thought it was implied. Why am I married?
This movie is so fucked. I can't, I find it so hard to keep in mind the last movie this guy made is 2001.
Yes.
Which is so restrained, so, it's so reined in. And then he went for, just totally shifted tracks and went to this movie where everything is off kilter, everything feels uncomfortable.
Yep.
Everything is just cynical and crooked.
They picked the most cynical art to hang all over the walls because this is extremely cynical. If I may revise a point that I made in the previous podcast, we stated that as fact that the budget for the previous film, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Wikipedia quotes at $10.5 to $12 million. This movie was made for $2 million.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Well, okay. I don't know if this is... Okay, I could be pulling something totally out of my ass. But I have come across big directors who made great movies in the 60s. And then their first movies in the early 70s are kind of... You can tell that their budgets were slashed. This is not the first time I've seen something like that.
It might have something to do with an industry standard, but I don't want to provide information that's incorrect.
I've noticed a trend that early 70s movies of great directors, you notice that the budget kind of goes down.
Yeah, that might be a longer negotiating trend. In this movie, Malcolm McDowell plays Alex DeLarge in a putting on the map performance. I don't want to be the guy who's the expert on Malcolm McDowell, but this is what made him. When you think about him...
He's either the eyeball guy or that weird villain from Teen Titans. Either one.
What?
You know who I'm talking about.
What?
The overly British villain from Teen Titans.
The leader of the Hive? Oh, I'll look it up later and it'll be funny.
You're going to remember this and you're going to like, oh, I'm such an idiot.
I think I can see who it is, but...
Like the Maj or the...
I'll look it up later. We don't have time.
Your past self is kicking you out.
I don't care. I'll look it up when we're done with this.
Editor Johnny, hit him.
Okay. This is God, Malcolm didn't know what he was getting himself into. He wants to be in films, and this balding man who had recently moved to the United Kingdom said, "Here, I have a movie for you."
I still I can't get over the fact of just this is a masterpiece of making me uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, I think well, that's a good point where we're at. This is a movie that for a long, long time was my third favorite movie of all time, because one of the first times I watched it was in my kind of douchey film awakening phase in college. I love this movie to death. And I can see there are a couple of problems later, and they're not a lot because we've been watching some Kubrick stinkers, but this is a little bit baby's first symbolism.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Because, okay, one thing I love about Stanley, he's an extremely cynical, subtly satirical guy when he wants to be funny. But even this was like, Jesus is dancing. He's supposed to be dying for your sins, and he's doing a jig.
That's really, it's a satire that feels like it's loosened its restraints, and it's not trying to hide what it's trying to do at all. Like, okay, I was surprised when you were saying that the first person, you was looking at the background notes for this, and you said that like the first person that was set to direct this was Ken Russell.
Yeah.
And if you look at some of the movies that Ken Russell is making at this time period, like this is his style of movie. But like I think Kubrick outdoes him a little bit.
I see.
Holy shit! It's just like it's total release the straps phallic satire.
All right, that's a good segue. This is the gayest movie he made, and I don't mean that in a cursory, defamatory way. It's a lot of sexual overtones, homosexual almost overtones.
Hello, I'm here to touch the boy's penis.
Have you not? Have you not been to school, Alex? Mm-hmm. Have you not clicked this link to other podcasts of ours? Maybe a little less gay.
And how many times is Alex stripped down naked? How many times do we see his ass? How many penises and dicks are there? But again, I guess it's like this world has been graffitied by a bunch of teenage boys. They're like penis everywhere.
Yeah, we're supposed to find him not funny. Like if we derive any humor from him, it's from what he finds funny.
And like again, I know you love this movie, and I do like this movie a lot, but the sets piss me off. It's so fucking intentionally ugly. God damn the 70s.
Okay, so we have a bit of a parades moment. I used to ask my dad, was the Brady Bunch really that popular? And he said, son, there are only 3 channels, and if the other 2 didn't have something, you were watching the Brady Bunch. I want to ask my dad, because my dad's childhood was in the 70s. I'm like, Dad, the 70s and A Clockwork Orange, are they fucking with us?
So, okay, there weren't any more channels. Were there any more colors? How about,
can I get
chairs?
Can I get something that's not orange and green, please?
Do there have to be mirrors and Christmas ornaments on the walls?
I'm gonna need checkerboard on every possible surface, please.
One of the houses, the front door opens into, it looks like they took a sauna and they put a checkerboard floor on it and a giant mirror. I think that's the writer's front door, right?
Probably, yeah.
And then
we got nothing but red chairs and stairs with no railings,
and like a lady who covers her walls in
the ugliest fucking pop art you've ever seen,
and she's the one that has the giant penis.
Well,
I remembered that. I thought that Alex brings it into the house. No, that's her pride and joy. That's her treasure.
By the way, Stanley's prop department found this laying around in back and said, I need that on set. Can somebody get that for me? Please get that for me. But it adds to this really sexual overtone in a movie not about sex. It's about the use of sex for the sake of violence and the use of civilization for the sake of violence.
I can understand how this world makes Alex's mind. Like this world has nurtured that brain. It actually
to like penises and skipping school.
To be how like he's vulgar and violent, and he has this weird mix of like he's the novel. I haven't read it, but I know that the novel's dialogue is this. It's this weird mix of an invented vocabulary with like Shakespearean language, and there's this weird mix of pop and classical, and Alex talks like that.
Yeah, it's not off-putting. I wouldn't say is the correct term, but it's certainly, despite him being an absolute shitface most of the movie, he's very eloquent when he punctuates his T's very well. He doesn't slur or mumble. he's very well spoken, despite the fact that he has a snake in the drawer and is murdering hobos on the daily.
And there's a comparison that I want to make to Lolita. And I think this movie does it better. Clockwork Orange does it better. Where they're both of these books and both of these movies are a study of evil. There's both these characters. It's a deep dive into really fucked up people. And I think that the Lolita book kind of gets lost. The Lolita movie gets lost in trying to convey the comedy of the situation without fully expressing just how fucked up Humbert is as a person.
Okay, so you believe that Lolita gets a little bit lost in the humor.
Yeah, because and I understand because the source material demands that the film has to go that way.
Yeah.
This one I think strikes a really good balance where it's funny as hell. It's funnier actually.
Yeah.
But it also, I think, does a better portrayal of the morality of this character and the dilemma of you as the audience putting judgment on him. Because like you like these first 20-30 minutes is him hurting people, and you just, god damn it, you want this kid to just get the shit kicked out of him.
The quote the douchey quote I said to everybody who came to the dorm room was, "You pity him later. Watch, you're gonna."
And I remember the first time I had watched this, where I was, you've alluded to this before, I was annoyed and off-putted that he got such pleasure out of Beethoven. And I was like, no, you can't. You're not allowed to. Evil people shouldn't like Beethoven. I like Beethoven. Yeah, how dare you enjoy that?
You think that art should be this not extraterrestrial, but ethereal plane of appreciation and sensation that should be not given to the people that commit crimes. They should not be able to.
There should be a connection between ethics and aesthetics.
Ooh.
And Nabokov and Burgess and Kubrick seem to be twisting that in their works in various different ways. And when the author locks Alex in a room and turns Beethoven on at full blast, I remembered me thinking the first time, this is what I wanted. I wanted him to be suicidally nauseous at the sound of Beethoven.
It works itself out like a haunted house somebody has developed to lead you to a conclusion, but all along the way you think you're making these choices. It looks like you're exploring something, but they have full control of the situation. Yes. Okay, if I can make a quick stop, you mentioned that this is a funny movie. I would say that it is the second funniest Kubrick movie after
Dr. Strangelove.
Full Metal Jacket. Oh, you're right. That's funny as shit. Okay, I was thinking go Strangelove, then probably because Full Metal Jacket and then Clockwork Orange. I forgot how funny he can be. That's one of the best things that happened to adult movie-going me is that I realized that serious movies can be funny.
That's true. And Kubrick is fantastic at making that balance of just really uncomfortably dark, funny shit.
This satire that he's known for, the subtle satire, is now blaringly in your face, but still very cynical. Extraordinarily cynical.
God, it's just... It's uncomfortably cynical. Like sometimes, like I don't want to be in this frame of mind right now. And just that face of Alex at the end, where he's having like a seizure Kubrick stare. Just that zoom
Kubrick
in
seizure TM.
It's the Kubrick stare, but with a seizure.
Yeah,
as you're trying to, as Alex is trying to smile with the neck brace on. Oh, it's so uncomfortable.
I think that this movie accounts for the largest proportion of Kubrick stares in his filmography.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I'd like to just say something. When I was in college, in philosophy classes somewhat, but also in philosophy classes somewhat, but also in psychology classes, you could do for extra credit, you could pick a piece of media and write a really easy to write essay about the subjects here. And I guarantee you on that list was Clockwork Orange, because you could. This is such a like bog standard fictional case study about, did he really commit crime? What is negative reinforcement?
Yes.
I mean, I come to the same questions and conclusions. I think about that all the time. That doesn't make it not interesting to talk about. It's similar in the way that one of my favorite video games is Shadow of Colossus, just by virtue of how much I'm thinking about it when I'm not watching it.
Just the thought of stabbing a Colossus makes me go,
I don't want them to die. Poor fucking Alex. Here's another thing. Here's another statement that I really love this movie is that I went to just so I would have something to talk about afterwards now. I went and looked at the trivia page of TV tropes. I'm like, I know most of this.
You've looked at this movie a lot. I looked at the background of this movie a lot.
Guys, it is my third favorite movie of all time for a long time. My first favorite movie is going to be on the next set of movies we do, but that's down the line. I want to talk about this. Stanley is on a fucking roll. This is 9 out of 13.
We're at 9 out of 13?
Yeah, there's only 4 left to go.
Why does he have so few movies left? He dies in like 99?
Yes, he starts slowing down after Red Lightning.
Son of a bitch.
I'm sorry. Do you have other points before we wrap?
I'm sad now.
You be sad.
We're almost done. God damn it.
Okay. I can't. It's like that movie, The Lottery. Just every 10 years, I'll pull one master gem out, and you can have that. But he's running out of genres.
Like, I have authors that I love them, but I deliberately don't speed run through all of
because
their
you know
novels.
that the universe has a finite number.
Yeah,
of
like
Alan
with
Moore
Don
books.
DeLillo, I haven't read all of his novels, and I don't want to for a long time. So, and I feel like I wish I haven't watched all of Kubrick's movies, but I think I've seen them all now. Oh
no, I'm still fresh, baby. I got one more. Do you have final thoughts?
God, I hate the 70s.
This movie screams aluminum Christmas trees on a surface. But what I mean is, it begs kids that watch it today, my age, to go, the 70s, that bullshit. but no, it's a really very viciously in your face cynical movie with a lot of really good shots and a lot of really metal moments, a lot of beating people up, both out of the joy of it and to further the government.
Let's drown Alex for 60 seconds.
That's an uncomfortable take, guys. It's two different viewings if you go in having read TV tropes. This has been our podcast on 1971 Stanley Kubrick film Clockwork Orange. It's my last hurrah into new territory because next week we were tackling 1975's.
Oh wait, you're right. Sorry, I haven't seen.
Oh,
we're both virgins for this one.
Oh, Bobby. Bobby, this is.
I'm happy now. This one I haven't seen.
Coming up in 1 week, everybody. It's 1975's Barry Lyndon, directed by my man.
Oh, there's some starlight left.
Oh God, the light hasn't faded yet. Come back. I can play music. You want to see my snake?